you have any doubt that there's something greater than just yourself, greater than what you see in front of you, get in the habit of watching the sunrise like behind me, and get into the habit of watching the sunset. And you tell me there's no God. You tell me that there's no greater life force than you. Look at that sunrise. That's the reward for being up at 6 o'clock in the morning, walking and serving other people. That's the reward. I would say about 75% of people sleep through that this morning. That is the good Lord's masterpiece every morning here in Naples and every evening. Look at that masterpiece. That's how I start my day. That's how you start your day. Looking at that and counting your blessings. Life is a gift. Life is a gift. And you got one more day. I got one more day. I woke up today. It was pitch dark in my room. Splashed some water on my face, opened my eyes, brushed my teeth, and looked in the mirror, and I said, he's not done with me yet. He's not done with me yet. I got one more day. One more day to contribute, to serve, to help other people, to make a difference. I got one more day. I can do this for one more day. I can brush my teeth in the dark. I can put on my shoes. I can put on my 25-pound rucking vest. I don't feel like doing it, but I can do it one more day. I can do this one more day. I can shoot a broken iPhone video one more day. I can do it. I can send another email. I can do it one more day. I can serve men like you another day, because I've been gifted another day. I can claim my freedom, my control, my independence, my autonomy, and my personal sovereignty. One more day. I got one more day. He gave me one more day today. So I have one more. I can do all this for one more day. I can copyright for one more day. Operation Money Suck. I can do my road work for one more day, which I'm doing now. I can read. I can sharpen the axe for one more day. I can drink a gallon of water for one more day. I can do it all for one more day. What a gift. What a gift. He's not done with me yet. So one of the most amazing stories that I'll ever tell is I had the privilege of working with, I hired him through my junior hockey team 20 years ago. His name is Sir Gary Davidson, the greatest cold call salesman in history. I have never heard of better. I have never witnessed better. I have never in my life seen somebody on a telephone, old school, ear to ear, toe to toe, belly to belly, eye to eye, to cold as ice, sitting there with a local phone book, with the local yellow pages. That's his list, and dialing for dollars. So I'll set the table for you to make a short story long. I owned the Smith Falls Bears Junior A hockey team. And every year we had this company that would come in and they would do a one game promotion. And they would send in a couple of dial for dollar sales guys. And they would literally call all the business owners in our community. Smith Falls is a community of 10,000 people, so small town. And the Junior A team is a big deal. But this is a pack the barn kind of thing. Like, we would have 700 people at a game, sometimes 1,000, sometimes 1,300. But when you had the pack the barn game that these guys promoted, you would sell out your arena. You'd have 2,200 people, and it was a special night, and you didn't really have to do a lot of work. Like, it was Gary would come in and do it all. So we hired this company. It was the old owners when I bought the team. They had them before, so it was an automatic. So these two guys would come in, and they were employees of the company. They were employees of the company. They weren't doing, like, they didn't own it. And I said, okay, for sure. They came in and they said, we take something like, I don't know what they took, 50% of the sales, and then the team gets 50%. So you get 50% for doing nothing, right? And they fill your rink with people that normally don't go to the hockey game. So it's win-win. So I'll never forget it. I go and I hire these guys, and they come into town, Gary and his buddy. And I go out to this old motel. Like I didn't even know where they were gonna stay. And I go out to the highway, and they're staying in this old ass motel. It's just like, I mean, something you'd see on the way driving across the country for like $60 a night. That's exactly what you would see. So here they are, they're in there. I go to see them at 7 o'clock at night because they got in earlier. They got in that afternoon. And what do? I go in and see them. And here's Gary and his sales buddy. And here they are sitting on the 2 beds, the old bedspreads in the motel. It's just disgusting, right? Dingy, old, grungy old motel. And I introduce myself, and Gary introduces me to his partner. They're in their, maybe they're 40 years old, maybe these 2 guys. The whole place is just cigarette smoke, right? Cigarette smoke and Coors Light and Bud Light empties all over the place. So they arrive that afternoon, and they're in there, and they're sitting on the bed, and they're playing the guitar. You know, Gary's playing the guitar, and him and his buddy are singing, and, you know, cigarettes dangling in their mouth, and drinking beer. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? Who are these guys? This is like the Hanson brothers all over again from the movie Slapshot. So I'm like, all right, guys, I'm there with my assistant coach. What's the plan for the next 2 days? They're like, hey, Michael, the plan, don't worry about it. The plan is I sell your rink out. We pack the Smith Falls barn. And I'm like, okay, that's not easy. I said, do you guys need a list? Do you need some help from me? Do you need anybody like me to introduce you to any of the contacts? And good morning. There's just, so he's like, no, we got the phone book. We got the white pages and the yellow pages. I'm like, that's what you're gonna do? This is like 20 years ago. And he said, yep, that's all we need. So I go home, and I'm like, man, these guys are lunatics. Lunatics. I go home and have a shower. The cigarette smoke, not a window cracked. So I go back the next day. I'm working at the rink, and I go over around, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning to check in. What are these 2 guys doing? And here they are sitting at the 2 desks. They have a card table, and they have one of those desks in a motel where the telephone sits. And it's completely transformed. They're both sitting there, and they both are on the phone, dialing for dollars, one after another. They never once, when I was there for about 40 minutes, they never once sat the receiver down. It was dial, talk, dial, talk, dial, talk. No headsets, I'm talking real landlines. No cell phones, none of that shit. Just dialing, hardcore landline, dialing up through the yellow pages. Garages, contractors, HVAC guys, pizzerias, restaurants, everything and anything. And what I heard and what I saw to this day sticks with me. Gary Davidson is the undisputed cold calling world champion. There is nobody even close. He is the undisputed cold calling, dialing for dollars world heavyweight champion. I think that I'm outstanding on the phone. I've trained myself for 2 decades. I know how to close. I believe I'm a top 0.1% closer. Admittedly, this guy is better. This guy is better. I'm in AAA baseball, and he's making 50, 60 million in Major League. It was unbelievable. So he starts, the best part is he started every call the same. So these people don't know who the hell he is, right? And he's calling them up on a busy Monday. It was a Monday, and he's only there for 2 days. So he gets these guys on the phone. They're busy mechanics, busy garage owners, busy restaurant owners. He gets every one of them on the phone with this script, and it's all memorized, of course, right? He does it 10,000 times. But you should hear how he talked to the gatekeeper. It was incredible. He's like, "Hi, Joyce." He goes, "Gary Davidson here from the Smith Falls Bears." He put himself, he used our company name to open the door, right? And he used the line, "Coffee staying down?" So here's this, receptionist, and he or she is, like Monday morning, bored stiff, hungover from the weekend, the whole 9 yards, right? Bored out of their mind. And the phone rings with another inconvenience. Say somebody else wants their car fixed, or somebody else wants to book lunch or something like this. And here's Gary. It's like he comes through the phone. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Like energy. He's like, "Hey, Louise," it gets her name. "Gary Davidson here from the Smith Falls Bears." And then he goes into his spiel. "Is John there?" And his whole point is to get John, the owner of the small business, on the phone. That's his whole thing. So it was amazing how he did it. He never takes no for an answer. And he gets the gatekeeper on his side like you've never heard. He's like talking to her about her kids, talking to all about her, right? All about her. How's the day? Drop the kids off today. How are things going? Are they playing any? Like rapport. And then, Joyce is like, "Yeah, just a second. He's busy, but I'm going to get him. I'm going to get John." And he goes, usually it's the husband, right? And then John comes on the phone and he's like, "Who is it?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Gary Davidson from the Smith Falls Bears." So he's got a little crack there because of the name of the sports team. But still, it's a cold, ice cold call. So he, first thing off his lips, every time, 10,000 times. "Hey, John, Gary Davidson, Smith Falls Bears. Coffee staying down?" And that is the ultimate NLP pattern interrupt. Coffee staying down? So picture this for a second. Most guys, most ordinary salespeople, most mediocre salespeople, they would start with that nonsense, "I hope this finds you well," stupid email, or silliness like how are you this morning, or end like that. Are you kidding me? Gary Davidson was a blue collar salesman talking to a blue collar business owner. Right off the bat, pattern interrupt. He's like, boom, totally different than everybody else. Coffee staying down? And what he's referencing is the business owner has had a big weekend of recreational drinking. He probably didn't get a lot of sleep like we all did. And Mondays were always a chore, right? That's reality. That's reality of the small business owner, when a lot of these guys, the only day they have off is Sunday, right? So what do they do on Thursday? They put up their feet, they watch some football, a few beer turn into, 12 beer turns into Sunday night football, the whole 9 yards. We've all been there. But just the fact that he had that nailed, he had his message nailed. Coffee staying down? And it would always get a laugh. It would always get a laugh. So they've known Gary for maybe 30 seconds, and they've got to laugh. He's got to laugh. He's made them laugh. He's interrupted their pattern. So they're miserable. They're stressed. It's Monday. They don't want to be there. Their employee didn't show up, whatever it is. And Gary, the first thing, coffee staying down? And they get a laugh. They get a smirk. They get a smile. They get a laugh. One of the other things that nobody would notice is I never saw Gary without a huge smile on his face. Like he's genuinely having fun on the phone. And they tell closers on the phone, smile and pick up the phone. Smile and pick up the phone. But see, you can't force that stuff. It's either authentic or it's not. You can feel that energy through the phone. You can feel that energy through an email, through a video. If I'm out here forcing a smile, or I'm forcing myself to be angry, or forcing myself to be motivated, you're just going to say, this guy he's not authentic. He's a bullshitter. So you can't force it. But Gary was the king of smiling all the time. So when he said, "Hey, John, coffee staying down?" It was like he was sitting across from John having a coffee that morning, big smile on his face. And people love Gary. They love him. What's not to love, right? Big smile, blue collar guy. And then he goes into his script. And his script is, yeah, I'm working for the Smith Falls Bears. We're just trying to help out the junior, help out the kids. It was always about the kids. Trying to help out the kids and keep the team strong in the community. And I was calling to see if we could count on your support. I'm just calling to see if we could count on your support. And what's he going to say? He's going, yes, I'm not going to support the children in the community. And then, of course, he's got his levels, right? He's got his silver, his gold, and his bronze. He's no dummy. So he's going to offer John the 3 levels, and he starts with the most expensive. Well, he says, I can get you 50 tickets, John. I can get you 50 tickets for this price. And then he says, and John's like, okay. And then he's like, and if he doesn't buy that, he's like, I can go down to 25 tickets for this price. You can help you can help the team this much. And if he can't do that, he goes to the bronze level. Well, I can get you 10 tickets. So he closes everybody. He friggin' closes everybody. The tough of the tough. And he closes them for 50, sometimes 100 tickets, sometimes 25 tickets, and then always upselling. He's like, come on, John. Come on, do it for the kids. Come on, John, do it for the kids. You can do 50 tickets. And John's on the phone. He's like, I want to get rid of this lunatic. Okay, I'll do 50. And then the other thing, what Gary would do is my dad used to say when I was leaving the brokerage every time for a sale, he would say, get the check. Remember to get the check. Whenever I headed out the door to sell or to a farm or to a commercial business to quote, my dad was always yell down the hallway, remember to get the check, which means close the deal. Don't let them think it over. Close the damn deal. So Gary would be like, all right, I'm going to send. And he had this girl working for them. Now that I think about it, he hired this person for the 2 days. He went to the employment office and he literally hired this person. And this was somebody he didn't know before he got there. And she drove around in the car for 2 days at the end of the day and picked up checks. This was the day where it was cash or check, and it was all checks. And he'd go, okay, Louise is gonna come over and see you at 3 o'clock. Can you have the check? Can Joyce have the check ready by then? Yes. All right, I really appreciate you helping out the kids. I mean, this is incredible. You're a good guy, John. You're a good guy, John. And John's just like, wow, this is the best thing that happened to me today. I don't know what happened, but I just sponsored the team for $500 or $250. Gonna put your name in the program there. You're gonna be taken care of at the game. Make sure you invite all your employees, invite all your friends. You got 25 tickets, you got 50 tickets, you got 10 tickets. John, you're gonna be a hero, man. You're a hero to me, John. You're a hero. You're helping these kids. You're helping your community. You're helping out your employees, giving them a night out at the rink with their spouses. He goes, man, you're a hero. And just boom, just book closed. On to the next one. I never, ever, ever saw him get a no. I'm not kidding. You close 30% of your sales, you're a champion. You close 20% of your sales, you're a champion. 10%, you're very, very good. But oh my Lord, personality, energy, smile on his face, and that incredible, like Tony Robbins says, the USP, you've got to pattern interrupt their day. They've got 10,000, good morning, they got 10,000 other things to think about on a Monday morning. So Gary, coffee staying down? Hey John, how are you? Coffee staying down? Tim, how are you? Coffee staying down? Good morning, Kim, how are you? Coffee staying down? And oh my God, it was laugh after laugh, smile after smile, and then he had the same script. I watched this for 2 days. It's the best part of my 2 days. I'd walk over there and watch him sitting there dialing for dollars for 8 hours straight. As soon as it was over, he'd go to the beer store, he'd get his 24 a beer, he'd get out his guitar, he would light his cigarettes, and him and his partner would sit there on the bed, play the guitar and sing songs till 11 o'clock at night, and then start up and do it all. I say, Gary, how long you been doing this? He goes, oh, Michael, I've been doing this for 20 years since I was got out of high school. And I was like, wow, by the way, he works for one of the top hockey teams in the country now. I tracked him down. He doesn't drink. He's remarried. He has a beautiful daughter. He's been sober for 15 years. Totally different lifestyle. He's not on the road anymore. But man, those old road warriors living in a motel. I go, how many days? He goes, I do this 5 days a week, 2 teams every week. I give each team 2.5 days. I said, he goes, I'm on the road from Sunday night till Friday morning. And he said, I sell out every rink, whether the rink has 5,000 seats, 2,000 seats, or 1,000 seats. And man, we'd go to the game, and here's our rink, 2,200 people. You couldn't put another spectator in there with a shoehorn. And Gary, man, he did it in 2.5 days, and closing the deal. We'll be over for the check. What do you want on there? What do you want in the advertisement, John? What do you want? Send me your business card. I'll make sure your logo's in there. I'll make sure your phone number's correct, because he'd have a handout at the game of all the sponsors. Man, you're a hero, John. You're a hero. I mean, you're one of the good guys, John. You're one of the good guys. And then that was it. Talk about cold calling killer. Unbelievable. I'm so thankful that I saw Gary work, and I'm so glad that he's got a job with doing what he does best and not on the road anymore. That's just amazing. I witnessed the greatest cold call salesman dialing for dollars in history, my friend Gary Davidson. You know, you talk about gun to your head, marketing and advertising. What would you do if your gun was to your head and it had to work? You had to sell, or you were boom, gone. It's amazing. When I think of gun to head, Gary Halbert selling, I think about if it was phone selling, I would call Gary Davidson in from the bullpen. I wouldn't put that job in anybody else's hands. He would take a yellow page book in 2023. He would take a phone book for insurance, for real estate, for investing, for pizzas, for golf, for tennis, and he would literally dial for dollars and make thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a day on the phone with cold prospects. What's stopping you? You're afraid to pick up the phone. You're afraid they won't listen. You're sending texts, or you're sending emails, or all this chicken shit stuff. You know, social media is chicken shit. Texting is chicken shit. Emailing is chicken shit. If I want to sell something, I still have to get on the phone. I still have to talk to my mastermind members. I still have to talk to people. So that was just belly to belly, toe to toe from a dingy, grungy motel, selling out one arena at a time. The world's greatest cold calling salesman, Gary Davidson. Coffee staying down, Michael? Love it. And he worked the same thing over again. He didn't invent. You execute it every day, execute it. Same 300 calls next day, same 300 calls next day, same 300 calls. So speaking of the world's greatest cold calling salesman, my March newsletter edition, the Michael McLean World Building Letter, I'm doing something very special, 100% brass balls marketing. I'm going to put in there my top marketing and advertising ideas I've used over the last 19 years to sell $155 million of products and services. I've done it in the insurance business, the barbershop business, the coaching and consulting business, the real estate business. It doesn't really matter. The hockey business, 155 million. And in the March edition, Paper and Ink newsletter, I'm going to talk about my very best ideas for helping you sell. It's going to be my best of the best, but you need to subscribe. And I'm going to throw in one of these hashtag badass t-shirts. They're worth about $60, and it says "Be Relentless" on the back. And they're worth about $60. I'll throw one of these in with your newsletter in March for free. So the newsletter, it's a $3.24 investment per day. That's like a man on the corner begging for change. He can afford it. So don't lie to yourself and say you can't afford it. Just tell yourself you're not willing to invest in your marriage, your marketing, your business, your employees, or yourself. Just be honest. because it's not an issue of how much it costs. It's $97 a month. You spend that on coffee. You spend that on Danishes. You spend that on your cell phone. You spend that on anti-social media. $3.24 a day to transform your marriage, your marketing, your money, your health, your fitness, and build the world of your dreams. Every month I show up 22 pages of the Michael McLean letter, and this month, March, I'm going to open up immigration. So for as long as my folks are here, my mom and dad who are 89 are here visiting from Canada. They're here this week, and they're here till they leave on Wednesday, February 8th. So they leave on Wednesday, February 8th. When their wheels are up on their chartered jet, immigration to my newsletter is closed for the month. So if you don't want to be left out standing on the sidelines like some tomato can, go to badassletter.com and subscribe. Go to badassletter.com and become a member of my newsletter brotherhood. We have this cool online locker room. It's not Facebook. It's not big tech. We've got the monthly newsletter. You're going to be around elite guys. I'm going to be, it's like a visit from me on the back porch every month. I'm going to show up at your house once a month. You're going to give me a glass of lemonade. We're going to sit out by the pool or on the porch, and you and I are going to visit this month and talk about my best marketing and business building strategies. Sold over $155 million of product services with the strategies I'm going to reveal in this March edition. Plus you get one of these great t-shirts. They're awesome. They're like $60. They're high quality. None of this made in China stuff. This stuff here is made in Perth. And be relentless. So that's it. Badassletter.com. Immigration closes on Wednesday, March the 8th. As soon as my parents' wheels up, I'm closing the borders. Unlike Creepy Joe, my country has walls. Unlike Creepy Joe in the United States, my society has an immigration policy. And I'm very particular about who I let into my world, my badass world, and you should be too. I live in a walled garden, so should you. I live in a gated community, so should you. Immigration closes March 8th. Badassletter.com. That's it. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that change your life. Hey, John, is coffee staying down? Be relentless.